That's why this technology is going to hasten, that's going to hasten the progress, because it's going to spread the word so much soon. Young people that I have met with across the world have said they want to know if their leaders, and it's the same message in our country, they want to know if their leaders have the political courage to make the difficult decisions to end war and end the threat of war. And they want to know if their leaders have the courage to build a better future instead of using the excuse of war as a reason not to go forward. And that is why the cost of this war, first of all, in terms of the lives and the health of our soldiers, which is the most important part, and haven't our soldiers, don't they deserve our appreciation for their courage, for their patriotism, and the sacrifice they are willing to make? But the cost of this war, not only in the most important part, life and limb, but in reputation in the world, keeping us from our legitimate leadership role in the world to help eradicate poverty, alleviate the disease in the world, stop the fury of despair, so that we can get about peace, prosperity, and preserving our planet for your generation and for future generations. In Congress, we believe that to lead the way, we must put our own house in order. That is why we have implemented serious efforts to green the Capitol. And by the end of next year, this one term in Congress, we will be operating the Capitol of the United States in a carbon-neutral way. And that's a great thing. And that's why one of my first actions as Speaker of the House was to say to the Congress and to the nation that the issue of energy security and ending global warming was the flagship issue of my speakership and of this new Democratic Congress. And that is why I established a new select committee on energy security and global warming and named Congressman Ed Markey to be the chairman of that committee. And the task of that committee is just as its title describes, to establish energy independence and that security. It's a national security issue. It's an environmental health issue. It's an economic issue. It's an energy issue, did I say already? And it is a moral issue. It is a moral issue. This is God's great creation. We have a moral responsibility to preserve it. And that's why we have scientists and evangelicals, environmentalists and the business community, working together to hasten, to shorten the distance between what we know must happen and when the results will be in. And with all of you helping, I know that will be true. Inside maneuvering, we can only do so much. We need the outside mobilization across America, delivering a message of change, of impatience. And again, it's a message in scientific labs and in churches across America, because it is the morally right thing to do. So on Monday, when you come to Capitol Hill, I'm so excited that you are coming there. You will be greeted by Ed Markey, our chairman. Ed Markey is one of the greatest advocates for preserving our planet. He's been doing this for over 30 years. He knows of what he speaks, and he knows what our goals are. He's ready to do more, and he's looking forward to welcoming you. And he will be joined by Chairman Chris Van Hollen of this area, who will also be looking to welcome you to the Congress. Ed Markey was helpful in helping us pass sweeping legislation, which we're working with the Senate to send to the President. And I hope that the President will sign the legislation. And I hope he will sign the legislation. But when our energy bill, you have so many different messages coming in, but I know one thing for sure, you want a new direction, whether that new direction is in growing our economy, in stopping global warming, or in stopping the war in Iraq. These issues are connected. These issues are connected because this energy issue is a national security issue. And we don't want people using our need for oil with their need to go to war. And that must come to an end. These issues are connected. These issues are connected because the cost of this war, now I'm talking about dollar cost, are a tremendous impediment to our making the investments that are necessary for us to shorten the distance, as I said earlier, of what is inconceivable for some in our country, but is inevitable as far as I can see in this crowd tonight. So we need to make the financial investments there. I cannot even tell you how excited I am to see the enthusiasm that you have for this issue, because I know that it will be translated into effective political action, to persuade members of Congress to take us in a new direction, to have change, to implement the power shift, A year ago on Tuesday, the American people spoke out in the election for a new direction. Nowhere were they more clear about that new direction than in the war in Iraq, which is directly related to our dependence on foreign oil. And that is why we must work together, appreciate each other's impatience on this, but we must work together because we must achieve this power shift. And in doing so, we will shift power to the next generation of new leaders for our country and therefore for the world. In that election, and in the election of 2 years before that, young people came out in record numbers. In this next election next year, young people must once again come out in record numbers and elect people, whatever their party, you know what my preference is, whatever their party, who believe in change, who are relentless in pursuit of that change, and who recognize that the responsibility we have to pass this planet, this country, this community, this society on to another generation. Today, again, you are acting in the tradition of our founding fathers. You are the magnificent disruptors of our time. You are the magnificent disruptors of our time. Congress has a responsibility to build a future worthy of your aspirations and worthy of the sacrifice of our men and women in uniform, worthy of a vision of our founders. And that vision said that every generation has a responsibility to make the future better for the next generation. We in Congress have that responsibility. With your help and faith in the future that our founders had, we will make great progress. With your help and your enthusiasm, I know that we will be successful. Thank you for what you are doing. We want more. I'm with you. Let's hear it for the power shift that I know is inevitable. Let's have 80% in 2050. 80% in 2050.